Hi everybody, I'm Prashant Nair, and in this screencast we'll be seeing how to install Cassandra in a single node cluster. So things are pretty straightforward. So what we'll be doing is, to do this demonstration, we'll be creating a virtual machine using VMware Fusion. So I'm using here Mac. So in some case, if you're using Windows machine, you can go for VMware Workstation or VMware Player, and you can create a virtual machine. So the first step what I'm going to do is I'll create a VM. Okay, so once I create a VM, my next step what I will do is I will install Ubuntu Server 12.04 LTS 64-bit OS. So since actually I'm using 64-bit Mac, so therefore it's easy for me. If suppose you're using a 32-bit system, yes, you can use Ubuntu 32-bit. However, for Cassandra latest version, we always recommend people using Ubuntu 64-bit. And regarding the Linux flavors, it is always expected that you should use any Linux, I will say any Linux system. With Linux kernel 2.6.x, it's like 2.6.x or later. So let's start the video series. The first part of the video we will see how to install Ubuntu. In second part we will download Java, and the third part will be installing Cassandra, and of course running Cassandra in the single node. Let's start. So I'll just start VMware Fusion. This is VMware Fusion. I'll click on this. I'll say new virtual machine. I'll just go to more options. I will say create a custom virtual machine. I click on continue. I'll select Linux. Under Linux I'll select Ubuntu 64-bit. I click on continue. I'll say create a new virtual disk. For this demonstration 20 GB is more than enough, so I'll use that. I click on next. So regarding the RAM, yes, I'm fine with 1 GB, and networking I'll maintain as NAT. So if you are an advanced networking expert, you can just do one thing. You can create a dedicated switch network within VMware. You can name it as VMnet1, VMnet2. You can create a network on your own. If suppose you are not good at networking, or if you don't want to mess any networking feature, you can just maintain it NAT. The same features are applicable even in VMware Player or VMware Workstation. Click on finish. So now I'll just give a name as Cassandra demo. I'll say here Cassandra demo, and then I click on save. So right now the machine is started. However, one thing that we haven't done is we haven't mounted the CD. So in that case, all I'll do is I'll just stop my VM. Okay, I'll just close it, and I'll just go to settings. Under settings I click on CD DVD, and I will say here advanced options. Okay, so in the auto detect section, yeah, now you can see here, since this VM is in the suspended state, what I will do is I'll just resume the VM, and I will just power off the VM manually. So to power off, it's pretty simple. So I'm just right click here. I will say here power off. So here I can just shut down the VM. Yeah. The moment the VM is created, I will just go to settings. I'll say CD DVD. Here I will select user disk image. So by default I have downloaded disk image a lot, so I'll use disk image here. Here's the disk image. So you can download this image from Ubuntu link. Okay, and I'll just click on open. I close it, and now I started the machine. I click on OK. So the machine will get started. I'll say connect CD DVD. I just hit a Control Alt Delete to restart, and my Ubuntu installation got started. So let me just maximize it for a better view. I press enter. I say install Ubuntu server. I just select language. I press enter. My location, I'm selecting India. I say no. The default English US. I'll maintain the default settings. Now the installation of the server gets started. So I'm just showing you the entire installation from the scratch, so that those who are beginners can easily set up their environment, set up their sandbox, rather than I recommend using Planet Cassandra sandbox. It's better to learn from scratch rather than, like depending upon the ready-made tools and applications. So here the host name, I will say here Cassandra node. I'll just say tab. I press enter. Now the username, I will say here username as VM1. I can choose whatever name I want. I press tab. I press enter. Once again, I press tab. I press enter. For the password, I will give a simple password 123456. Tab enter. 123456. Tab enter. So since it's a server OS, he's actually asking me, do you want to use a weak password? I say I'm fine with it. So I press enter. Now, do you want to encrypt your home directory? I'll maintain this as default. I press enter. So now here the disk partitioner starts. So I'll say the first option, guided use entire disk. If you're an advanced Linux administrator, or if you have good knowledge on setting up LVM, then you can go with the third option or the fourth option basically. I would recommend go for the first option if you're a beginner or if you don't want to focus more on the Linux part. So just press enter. I say write changes to the disk. I say yes. So now the partitioning is done, and OS formatting is also done, and now the installing the base system. So depending upon your system speed and the performance, he will install the base system. So right now he is asking me to enter the proxy information. For me, I don't have any dedicated proxy, so I just say tab enter. So I'll say no automatic updates, and just to take the servers in remote, I'll say install OpenSSH server. I just press space to select OpenSSH server. I press tab. I press enter. So this will install all the related softwares and the dependencies required for the applications, for the general applications in Ubuntu. And one thing you need to understand is this is a server-based OS, so there's no desktop. It's purely black screen where you'll be working. So always better to have a good habit to work on the black screen rather than like depending on the desktop series. So this is the final grub bootloader. So I say yes. So once this is done, you will see that our installation will get completed and the system will ask for the restart. So as you can see here, the installation got completed. I press enter. So as you can see here, the system got restarted and we have successfully installed our Ubuntu for the Cassandra. So in the second part of the video, we will see the dependencies required to install for Cassandra. Hi, so in the second part, we will see how to install the dependencies required for Cassandra. So, to for Cassandra, it is expected that your Ubuntu OS should be updated. So, the next thing what I'll do is I will say update the OS. So, the command is sudo apt-get update. So, to run this command, internet connection is mandatory. So, it is ensure that your internet connection is available. Okay, and of course the update process depends upon your internet speed. So once you complete the updation, the next thing what you need to do is you need to download the JDK. So for Cassandra, it is expected that you must use Oracle JDK. So you can get Oracle JDK from Oracle's website. So I prefer go for Oracle JDK 7. Okay, Oracle JDK 7 is far more recommended, and since I am installing JDK in 64-bit OS, I will download the 64-bit JDK. If suppose you are working on 32-bit, you will download the 32-bit. So downloading is not a pretty big deal. You can just go to your browser. I'll just say oracle.com. Otherwise, there's a direct website. I'll just share you the link. So this is the direct link that I can use. I'll just put it here in the notepad for your reference. This is the link. So you need to just scroll down, as you can see here. So you can download the JDK here. So since we are using Linux x64, so x64 is nothing but your 64-bit. I recommend go for the tar file. This is a tar file that I recommend you to download. If suppose you are using 32-bit, please download this tar file. Okay, so I have already downloaded this prior the video. So now let's start the updation of the OS, post which we will install JDK. So I'll just log into Cassandra. So the login name is VM1, password 123456. Okay, I'll just clear the screen and I say sudo apt-get update. So he will ask me the password. I will enter the password 123456. So as I said, update will take some time depending upon your internet speed and the bandwidth that you have. So let me just update the system. So the update is about to complete. Okay, so once the updation is completed, the next step what we will do is we will install Java. So now in this section we will see how to install Java. So for Java, of course, you need to download Java from the Oracle website, which we did previously. So right now it's there in my MacBook downloads folder. So the first step what I will do is I will transfer the Java tar file from my Mac system to Ubuntu. To do so, I will use scp command. So here's my scp command. Okay, so in some case if you are using Windows, there's a software tool called WinSCP where you can do drag and drop operation from the Windows system to the Linux system. Since this is Mac, I am using direct SCP. So I'll say ~downloads. I'll say here JDK. This is my JDK, and I specify destination location as VM1 at the IP address that's 172.16.23.149 sorry 148 /home/VM1. So I just press enter. I give the password 123456. So this will this will just upload the tar file in the Linux system. Once that is done, the next step what I will do is, so I'll just say mention here, this is the step from I'll say upload the downloaded tar file in Ubuntu system. So to do so, I type the command scp. I specified the location of my download, so I say like this /downloads/jdk. What was the location name? Yeah, -7 U79 -Linux -x64.tar space. So it's not scope here, actually my text edit is creating a little problem for me here. I'll just say space. Now the remote username, that is VM1 at the remote IP 172.16.23.148 in my example, I say /home/VM1. Please mark this VM1 is the username, so usernames has a dedicated user folder, so that's what I'm pointing here. So once this upload is done, the next thing I'll do is create a directory for Java and untar the tar file. So first of all, I will say sudo mkdir -p. I'll say user local Java. So I'm creating a directory for Java. The next thing what I will do is I'll just move the tar file from the current location of Linux, that is JDK 7U79 -linux.x64.tar into the location. I'll say user local Java. Then I untar it. So to untar, it's sudo tar -xbdf and the jar file, JDK file, that is JDK -7U79. I'll say linux -x64.tar. So these are the commands which I will use to untar the tar file. Once this is done, the next step what I will do is I will update the dependencies in my system. So I'll just say inform the system where is Java. So basically to perform that, I'll say sudo update -alternatives. Then I specify --install. So I'll say install something called as usr. I will say bin. I'll say Java. and then I say it as Java space, then I say the location. So my exact location is user local Java JDK 1.7.0 underscore 79 bin Java. So this is the step that I will type, and space 1, of course. I always miss this part. Then similarly for Java C also, so I say update alternatives. I'll say double hyphen install. I say usr bin Java C. I specify the name as Java C, and then I say usr local Java JDK 1.7.0 underscore 79 slash bin slash Java C, and then I say 1. So you need to install these dependencies. Once you install these dependencies, you will see that then you can check it whether the installation done or not. I can say check the installation by typing Java space hyphen version. So if you get the output, then it means that your Java is successfully installed. So let's check the same practically. So you will see here, if you see here right now, I'm in the home VM1. If I type ls, you will see that yes, the JDK is downloaded, and the next step what we need to do is we need to copy the JDK. So I will move the JDK. So I'll say sudo mv, I'll say JDK -7, I'll say move it to user local Java. So of course in my case I have already created the Java folder. So if suppose you haven't done, please follow the notepad and please create the Java folder. So these all things have been already done in my system. Okay, so I say just say cd, I say user local Java. So now if you see here, I have already untarred it. So see the blue one represents folder. The next thing is I will install the dependency. So I say sudo, I'll say here update alternatives. So I'll say update, I'll say here the alternatives, I'll say double hyphen install. So I'll say here /usr/bin/java. I specify I'm going to install Java, and the Java actual path is user local Java JDK 1.7.0 -79 underscore 79. I say bin, I say Java space 1. So this will update the dependency. In similar way, the same command, I will also update the dependency for Java C. So I'll just mention here. Okay, for the commands, of course, you can refer the notepad. This notepad will be shared. So once you do this, now if I type here Java space hyphen version, you will see that the Java is successfully installed in your system. So the next step now what we'll be doing is we will be setting the Java home and the JDK home. So to set the Java home and JDK home, so I'll say here set Java underscore home and JDK underscore home. So to do so, you need to open a file. So it's sudo, I'll say here vi. I can use vi in my case. Okay, I'm pretty comfortable with that. So I say etc/profiles.d/java.sh. So I'm creating a shell script inside. So inside the shell script, I specify export JDK underscore home equals /user/local/java/JDK hyphen, no hyphen, I'm sorry, it's 1.7.0 underscore 79. Similarly, I will just say export Java underscore home equals /user local Java, the same location, JDK 1.7.0 underscore 79. So once you create this file, the next step what you need to do is you need to update your system with this file. So before you update, you need to provide permission for execution. So I'll say here set permission to execute and source the file. So I'll say here sudo chmod plus x. I'll specify the location user. So it's etc. So I say etc /profile.d /java.sh. So this is the thing which I will change. And once this is changed, the next thing I will say sudo source. I will say /etc /profile.d /java.sh. So once you do this, your Java will be permanently set up in your system. So once the setting is done, the next step what we will do is we will start installing Cassandra. So I'll just say here, I'll say sudo vi, I'll say /etc /profile.d /java.sh. So I'll create a shell script and then I specify, I just press I for insert mode, then I specify export JDK underscore home equals /user local Java JDK 1.7.0-79. So this is a location which I will set. Similarly, I will say export Java underscore home equals /user local Java JDK 1.7.0 underscore 79. I'll just save this file by pressing escape, typing :WQ. So this file is saved successfully. The next thing is I will change the permissions. So to change the permissions, I will say sudo chmod. I'll say +x for executable. I'll say exe and then I'll say profile.d. I say java.sh. So now the permission is changed. Finally, I will say source. I'll say /etc /profile.d /java.sh. So the reason why we are doing source is so that every time when the system restarts, still the system will remember the Java place, the Java dependency area. Okay. So in the next step, we will see how to install Cassandra. Next step, what we will do is we will download and install Cassandra. So to download Cassandra, I'll just go to my web browser. I'll just go in cassandra.apache.org. That's the official website. So right now you can see the stable version, stable release as 12.0.14. I'll just click on download. So let's take this version. So I'll just click here. So right now I'll just select this. So this will download my Cassandra. So it's about to download it. So you can see here it's downloading. The moment it gets downloaded, the next step what I will do is I will untar it. So here I just say visit cassandra.apache.org and download the stable version of Cassandra. The next thing is what we will do is we will transfer the downloaded file in the Linux system. So similarly, if it is Windows, you can use WinSCP. So I'll say something like SCP, the same thing. So I'll say ~/downloads, and inside that the name of the tar file which I have just now downloaded. So it's something like Apache-Cassandra 2.0.14.tar, something like that. It will be a name. Then the username, the remote username at the rate the IP 172.16 dot my IP. Let me just check it. Is it on the top somewhere? Yeah, 23.148. So that's what I will write here. 20:/home/vm1. Okay, so I'll just do this command in my terminal. So this is my terminal. So I'll just take it up. So here I'll just put a change. So I say here Apache Cassandra. So /bin. So I'll say .tar. Okay. So I'll copy this tar file in the remote system. So I'll just mention here so that /bin/tar. Okay. So once you do that, so he's asking for the password. I'll enter the password. So this will be automatically downloaded. The next thing what I will do is I'll create the folder called Cassandra, and inside that folder I will extract all the components. So I say create folder called Cassandra. So I'll say here sudo mkdir. I say here /home/vm1. So in my case I'm creating in the home folder itself /Cassandra. So Cassandra makes sense. Next thing I will say move the tar file in Cassandra folder. So to move the tar file, it's sudo mv. I will say here Apache -Cassandra -2.0.14 -bin .tar space. I will say here /home/vm1/Cassandra /dot. So this will move the contents, and once the move operation is done, I'll start with the untar operation. So I say untar Cassandra. So I'll say here cd Cassandra, and then I'll say here tar -xvzef Apache Cassandra 2.0.14 bin .tar. So once the extract operation is done, our installation is almost completed. So let's see how it's done. So I'm here. Let's clear the screen. Now if I type ls, you can see that Apache Cassandra is here. So I first create the directory. So I say sudo mkdir. I'll say Cassandra. Since I'm creating in the same location, so I just directly written Cassandra. The next step what I will do is I'll move the file. So I say sudo mv. I'll say here Apache Cassandra. I say here home vm1. I'll say Cassandra dot. So this is mode. Now I say cd Cassandra, and inside which I'll say tar -xvf. I'll say Apache Cassandra tar. So this will actually try to extract. However, I missed one step due to which he is extracting. However, the saving process is not happening. So I'll just retype the command. The only mistake what I did is sudo. The word sudo is not applied. Now the extraction and the writing both is done successfully. So right now, if you carefully observe, my Cassandra is being untarred successfully. So if I just say ls, so this is my extracted folder Apache Cassandra. I can get inside Apache Cassandra. If I type ls, yes, this is my configuration. Okay, it contains the bin folder, the conf folder, and in general, if you want to work in a basic level, your Cassandra installation is almost done. So I just type here bin/Cassandra -f. So -f is for foreground mode. So basically Cassandra can work either in two modes, either in the foreground mode or in the background mode. So right now I'm just running in foreground mode. The moment I press enter, if everything goes good, it's fine. So yeah, right now you can see here he has some issues. So you know the reason why I had run this command is just to make you understand that whenever you face any errors, you can just read the error, what is the reason. So on the second last and last line you can see he is expecting some directories. So in the next video I will show you what are the dependent directories that is required by Cassandra, and post which I will run Cassandra in front of you. We will create the necessary directories for Cassandra and we will start Cassandra in foreground mode. So step 16, I will say create necessary directories. So to create necessary directories, the necessary directories for Cassandra is one is the lib directory and one is the log directory. So basically I will say sudo mkdir /var/lib/Cassandra. So these are the default locations. So yes, the locations can be changed, that we will see in the next series. So let me just create this directory, post which I will create one more directory. I will say /log/Cassandra, and once you create this directory, you need to even change the ownership also. So I'll say here create necessary directories and change ownership for the same. So next to change the ownership, the command will be sudo change ownership. I will say -R $user : $group. I'll say here /var/lib/Cassandra. Similarly, the same command but for the log folder. So you need to change the ownerships also. The post the change of ownership. So here I will say /log/Cassandra. So once you do that, then I will say start Cassandra in foreground mode, and then I will say test Cassandra by running cql-sh. So we'll see that right now. So to run start Cassandra in foreground mode, the command is, I'll say here bin slash, first of all I'll say here cd/home. So whichever folder you were in, so I'll just change it to Cassandra folder, Cassandra /Apache Cassandra -2.0.14 bin. So this is the cd part, and then I can say bin/Cassandra -f for the foreground mode. And to run Cassandra, so I'll just come back in Mac and I will say something like bin/cql-sh, and if I get a cql-sh prompt, means everything in running is good. So let's see now. Oops, sorry. Yeah, here. So now, first of all, I'll say sudo mkdir. I'll say here /var/lib/Cassandra. Similarly, I will create one more folder in the log area and then change the ownership. So I say chown -R, I say $user : $group. I'll say here var lib Cassandra. Similarly, the same folder but the log same way. So once I do this, the next thing is I need to ensure that I am in the Apache Cassandra. Right now also I am in the Apache Cassandra folder. So I just say here bin/Cassandra -f. So this will start Cassandra in the foreground mode. So see, can you see the last line? Listening for the thrift client. The moment you get that last line means everything is happening well and good. So I'll just show you the cql-sh now. So I'll just do a correction here. It's still 1.4. Now here in the terminal, I'll just connect myself to the Linux machine. So to connect to myself, I'll say ssh vm1@172.16. What's the IP? I always forget the IPs, no problem. I'll just scroll up. Yeah, here it is, 23.148. So he will ask me the password to log into SSH. No problem. I'll enter the password also. That's 123456 in my case. So I'll enter the password. So right now I'm in the Ubuntu system. So right now I'll say here bin/cqlsh. Okay, before that I will just get inside Cassandra folder. So I say cd Cassandra Apache Cassandra. So I'm inside Apache Cassandra now. So now I type bin/cqlsh. So right now you can see here, yes, we are inside the Cassandra CQL, means everything happened well and perfect. So we have successfully saw how to install Cassandra in a single node cluster. So see, just a demo, you can just see the one command here. So I say here describe, I'll say here key spaces. So yes, these are the system key spaces. So we can say that Cassandra is successfully installed in our Ubuntu system. Thanks for watching this video, and if you have any questions or comments regarding this video, feel free to comment it in the comment section. Thank you very much. Have a great day.